What's up guys, it's Carlos. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe it. It's only gonna help bring people closer for the gospel. And if you want more information about us, make sure to check out cfmiami.org/students. Well, I'm not gonna keep you any longer. You can continue over to the video. And let me tell you, it's a banger. I'll see y'all.
Hey, what is going on, CFS? Pastor Alex here. Thank you so much for joining us on our Thanksgiving special. To begin things, I want to go back to high school around 2006, 2007. God bless. Now, going around that time, I had a passion during that season of my life, and that passion was to increase my vertical jump. That's right. As a short guy, right, I used to play basketball often, and oftentimes, we would lower the hoops, to play games like tips and all that, and I would be able to jump 8.5 feet normally. Now, I had a mission to go and dunk 9 feet. I wanted to. It was just in me. And so I started looking up vertical programs, what to do to increase my vertical. Because during this time, I was watching clips in the 1980s, watching Spud Webb, who was around my height, maybe 5'3", dunking 10 feet. So I'm like, oh, if this guy can do it, I can definitely do it too. So I'm over here looking at all these programs, and let me tell you, it was wild. There were times where I was doing like 1,000 calf rises right before bed. There were times I was doing star jumps, anything that was explosive and jumping with my knees and my ankles, I was doing it. Matter of fact, I remember a vivid memory. It was 1 a.m. in the backyard, my mom and dad banging on the window with the light. They're like, hey, get inside the house. Why are you making all this noise in the backyard? The light's on, it's coming to our room. You need to go to bed. Mind you, I was in high school. I had to wake up in like 4 hours, right? And so it was a wild time, and let me tell you, with all that hard work, it was months and months. It was like the whole summer. It was a fall season. I was working hard so I can jump and dunk 9 feet. And let me tell you, with a lot of hard work that I did, I still wasn't able to do it. Hey, I was never to dunk 9 feet. I just don't have the genes, and it didn't matter how many times I did calf raises or try to jump as much, star jumps and be explosive. It never worked out for me, right? But man, I will never forget trying to increase my vertical. But much like that in life, oftentimes we try to increase certain aspects of our life, right? You might hear people saying they want to increase their finances. Some people want to increase their joy. Some people want to increase their school and family balance. Some people want to increase their presence on social media. Some people want to increase their faith. And oftentimes, in all the years of my life, I hear all the types of things people want to increase, which is not bad, right? It's honorable. But I very rarely ever hear somebody say, I want to increase my Thanksgiving. Matter of fact, I can tell you right now, I've never heard anybody tell me or in a movie or anything say, I want to increase my Thanksgiving. Now, in this season of Thanksgiving, we're always going around the table thanking God for a lot of the things that have happened in our life. But a request in our hearts that we see in the Bible, God gives us the recipe to increase our Thanksgiving. You see, all throughout the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, God calls his people to always be thankful. I mean, I remember in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, it tells us to give thanks in all circumstances, whether good or bad. Like God just calls us to be thankful. But God also tells us a recipe how to increase our Thanksgiving. And that's what I want to remind us in this season of Thanksgiving for. This is found in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, starting at verse 15. Look what the word of the Lord says. It says, for it is all for your sake, so that as grace extends to more and more people, it may increase thanksgiving to the glory of God. In other words, what God is saying here, hey, you want to increase your Thanksgiving? Think about the work of the kingdom. In other words, think about those who are around you who have come to Christ that you didn't even think were going to know or go to church or know Jesus. It says here, give thanks to God to those seeds that you planted when you preach the gospel, to those friends at school, to the person at Publix, whoever it might be. It says, increase your Thanksgiving by thinking about pastimes of the people who were far from God and now are in God. So in this Thanksgiving season, as we get ready to eat and be with family, you want to increase your Thanksgiving, think about the work that not only God has done through you, but you've seen all throughout the ministry. Because I can tell you, as a pastor here at Christ Fellowship, love seeing what's going on Wednesday nights, love seeing kids continually get baptized, continually evangelize, continually get into a small group, and give their lives to Jesus. And I pray to God that that never gets old for me or any of the student directors or any of our leaders, because we love seeing what God is doing. And by us doing that, we're increasing our Thanksgiving. All right, family? Well, I love you guys. And just like in the old Miami fashion, happy Thanksgiving. God bless y'all.